In this video, you're going to learn why the fear of failure causes you to play timidly and what you can do about this. Hey there, I'm Eli Straw, mental performance coach and the founder of SuccessStartsWithin.com. Now before we get into the video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you're an athlete looking to improve your mental game. I put out new videos each day on sports psychology and mental training. Now, if you're an athlete and you're dealing with fear of failure, this can be very frustrating because you know that it ends up causing you to play a little bit timidly. I've had many athletes that I've worked with say that when they're dealing with the fear of failure, it feels like they are performing with their foot on the brake. And if you think about the differences between your practice play and then your gameplay, a lot of times your practice play is done with more freedom, more confidence. You're kind of just out there and you're performing and you're enjoying yourself. And a lot of times you may not be focused so much on failing. You're probably focused a lot more on just what you're doing. But then when we go to a game, it's almost completely different, to where you're holding yourself back. You feel like you're more tense, you're performing timidly, you aren't performing with that same level of freedom and confidence. And the reason is because you've shifted what you're focused on. During practice, if you're not experiencing this fear, you are focused more on the process, you're focused more on the present moment, what you're doing, and just performing and getting better. But then during a game, if you're experiencing this fear, you're focused too much on the outcome. You're focused on the possibility of making a mistake. Now, you might be thinking, I don't want to make a mistake, I can't make a mistake, I can't mess up right now. But still, if you say those phrases, all of a sudden your mind is thinking about the possibility of making a mistake. And if during a game you're thinking about the possibility of making a mistake, that's going to cause you to perform timidly, because then what are you going to do? Well, you're going to think, how can I put myself in a position not to make a mistake? And there's a huge difference between this idea of hoping not to make a mistake and wanting to perform your best. When you want to perform your best, you perform with confidence and you perform with a little bit more of aggression, knowing that I'm going to go out there and I'm going to perform my best. When you perform with this mindset of, I hope I don't mess up, I hope I don't make a mistake, it's a lot more timid of a mindset. It's almost like you're tiptoeing through your performance. The aim isn't to succeed. The aim is to just get to the end of the game and to not have completely embarrassed yourself. But if you want to perform your best, you have to be able to perform with that confidence. You have to be able to let go of this fear, perform freely, and perform with that aggressive mindset where you say, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to perform my best. But how can you do this? Now, to help with overcoming the fear of failure, what we want to do is think about the cause. And I said earlier, the cause of this fear was you've changed what you're thinking about. So to overcome the fear of failure during games, when you're thinking too much about the outcome, we want to shift your attention onto just what you're doing right now. So we call that shifting your attention onto the process. To put your attention onto the process, one of the best tools that you can use is something known as a performance objective. A performance objective is something you say, this is my aim for today. This is what I want to focus on. What's so cool about setting performance objectives is that now your intent for the day isn't to not make a mistake, it's to focus on this objective. And if you set your objective really well, that objective is going to help you perform your best. So really you're thinking, I'm going to perform my best, but we know that in order to do that, you want to focus more on this objective. You know, some examples of objectives can be, you're going to focus on following through on every shot, you're going to focus on staying balanced at the plate, you're going to focus on serving with power, you're going to focus on watching the ball hit your racket, you're going to focus on driving your knees up when you're sprinting. Your performance objective is going to be very specific to you, dependent upon the sport you play and also the role that you play on your team or the position that you play. But the main idea of a performance objective is focusing on something that is in your control, part of the process that will then put you in the best position to succeed. And another tool that we can use to overcome the fear of failure is some breathing exercises during a game and before a game starts to really center your attention in this present moment. Because once again, the fear of failure, it's going to be caused by you worrying too much about what's going to happen. So we want to really reel that attention in and bring it right into the present moment. My favorite breathing exercise is going to be a count breathing exercise where you breathe in for a count of 5 and you breathe out for a count of 10. And if you just do that over and over again and you really focus on taking nice deep breaths and you really focus on counting every single breath, that's going to, number one, help calm yourself down and help you relax, but then it's also going to be bringing your attention into this present moment. And to really help with that, I recommend you kind of do that breathing exercise just on a daily basis. It doesn't need to be for 30 minutes to an hour. You can just say, all right, I'm going to set my timer for 2 to 5 minutes, and I'm going to perform this count breathing exercise. But the main idea is that The fear of failure causes you to perform timidly because you're too worried about making a mistake. You're worried about the outcome. So what you want to do is you want to focus on bringing your attention into the present moment. And the two tools that you can use to do that are going to be performance objectives and then a breathing exercise. Thank you for watching, and I wish you the best of success in all that you do. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. We put out new videos each week on sports psychology and mental training. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. If you're interested in learning more about one-on-one mental performance coaching, head over to successstartswithin.com.